Hello students, today we are looking at simplification of fraction. Simplification of fractions. So we want to consider how to simplify fraction. Let's look at this example number 1. Reduce 6m square u square minus 4m u cube over 9m cube u minus 4m u cube to the lowest term. So we are told to reduce this to the lowest term. So first of all, to make it easier, we need to look for the we need to factorize 6m square and 6m square u square and 4m u cube. So to make it, to factorize it, you can say that, well, if you look for the factors of 6m square u square, it will give you 2 times 3 times m times m times m times u, and that of 4m u cube, that will give you 2 times 2 times m times u times u times u. So the highest common factors of these two, so what is common to them? We have 2 is common here, m is common, and u is common, and u. So that means you have 2m, u, and u. So the highest common factors of these two are what? 2m, 2 times m times u times u will give you 2mu square. That will give you 2mu square. So that means you now write 2mu square outside there, then open the bracket. 6mu square divided by 2mu square. Let's look at it. 6mu square divided by 2mu square. If you divide this by 2mu square, so your 6 divided by 2 is what? 3. M square divided by m, if you do it as indices, 2, this one is same thing as 1, 2 raised power minus 1, because this is, you are dividing this and this. This 2 u raised power 2 minus 2. 2 minus 2 is what? 0. So that means you are having 3m u raised power 0. U raised power 0 is same thing as 1. 1 times 3m will give us 3m. So if you divide divide 6m square u square by 2mu square, you get 3m. Likewise, divide 4mu cube by 2mu square. So divide 4mu cube by 2mu square. So again, you are going to have this. So you are having 4mu cube divided by 2mu square is equal to 4 divided by 2 will give us 2. M divided by m will cancel. So that means we have u cube divided by u square. That means in the division, subtract their power, 3 minus 2. That means we have 2u. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So that means same thing as u. So if you divide 4mu cubed by 2mu square, you are going to get 2u. So that is why I have 2u here. Then you come to the denominator also. You are going to factorize 9m cube u minus 4m u cube. So when you factorize that you are going to have, so let's first follow for the factors of 9m u cube. So you have 9 is what? 9, 3 times 3. M cube is m times m times m. U is what? Times u. Then we having 4mu square. So that will give us 4 is 2 times 2 m. U square is 2 times u. So what is common to them? We having this m and u. So that means the highest common factor there is mu. So if you are having mu to be common, so that means you now say what? 9 cube u divided by 9 cube u divided by mu. 9 cube u divided by mu. So if you divide this one by mu, so that means u will cancel u here. So remaining what? You having 9 m cube. Since this is raised power 3, this is raised power 1, this m is raised power 1. So in following indices, you have your m raised power 3 minus 1, same thing as 9m square. So that is why you are having 9m square. Then you now have what again? 4m u cube divided by mu. 4mu cube divided by mu. So again, if you say 4mu cube divided by m will cancel m, you are left with what? U here. So u cube divided by u. So you're having 4u. This is 3 raised by 3 minus 1, which is what? 4u square. So that means you are having what? 4u square. So, and you will now have 2mu square into bracket 3m minus 2u over mu divided into bracket 9m square minus 4u. So here you realize that here this m will cancel this m. Now if you look at this, you having u square here, u square here, and u here. Now that means you now say that this u will cancel one u here. This one is same to u times u, or you can say that you subtract their powers. That's 2 minus 1 will give us u. So that means if you divide this, you have 2u. You are left with only 1u here. Then this m and u has already cancelled out. So you have 2u into bracket 3m minus 2u over 9m square minus 4u square. Now, from here, you realize that this is a quadratic equation. So that means you can easily factorize. Factorize 9m square minus 4u square. When you factorize these two, you are going to have 3 times 3 will give us 9m square. U times 2u times minus 2u. This is minus times plus is minus 4u square. So that means their coefficient should be 0. 3m times minus 2u will give us minus 6mu, and 3m times plus 2u give us plus 6mu. So minus 6mu plus 6mu is what? Is 0. So that is why nothing is. So that means the factors of 9m square minus 4u square will be what? 3m plus 2u and 3m minus 2u. So you are going to have in place of 9m square minus 4u square, you now have 3m plus 2u times 3m minus 2u. So you realize that in the numerator you have 3m minus 2u here and 3m minus 2u here. Since they are multiplying, so this is multiplying this is multiplying this. So you can easily cancel this out. This and this one will cancel out. So when they cancel out, so you are now left with what? 2u over 3m plus 2u. 2u over 3m plus 2u. In a nutshell, that means that when you are given this, the first thing is for you to factorize this. When you factorize, you get this one to be their highest common factor. Divide this by this, you get 3m. This by this, you get this. Actually, if you open the bracket, you get this back. Then for this two also, you factorize them, you get mu. So you divide this by this. You divide this by this, you get 9m square. Minus divide this by this, you get 4u square. So now you now look for what can divide each other. You see what here is multiplying this one, so everything is dividing. This can easily cancel this. This will cancel this, remaining 1u here. So that means you now let your 2u into bracket 3m minus 2u over 9m square minus 4u square. Now you can factorize this denominator. When you factorize this denominator, you are going to have this 3m plus 2u times 3m minus 2u. So you realize that since in the numerator you are having 3m minus 2u, this one and this one will cancel out. So that means you will now be left with 2u over 3m plus 2u. Now let's look at another example. Simplify a square plus ax minus 6x square over 2x square plus ax minus a square. Now it means you are having this. The first thing for you to do is to first of all factorize the numerator. So to factorize this a square plus ax minus 6x square, you realize that what? A times a will give us a square, then minus minus 2x times 3x will give us minus 6x squared. So that means you having minus times plus is minus. Let's check if it will give us as. A times 3x will give us 3ax. Then a times minus 2x will give us minus 2ax. 3ax minus 2ax is what? Ax. So that means it gave us what is in the middle. So that means the factors will be what? A minus 2x and a plus 2x. So for the numerator here, for the numerator, I'm going to write a minus 2x into bracket a plus 2x. For this numerator, I'm having it. Also for the denominator, you are going to factorize the denominator. When you factorize the denominator, the denominator, you are going to have, you are having 2x squared plus ax minus a squared. Now 2x times x will give us 2x squared minus a times a will give us what? Minus a squared. Let's check if it will give us what is in the middle. 2x times a will give us 2ax. Then x times minus a will go up minus ax. 2as minus as will give us plus ax. So it gives us what's in the middle. So that means the factors of 2x squared plus ax minus ax squared will give us 2x minus a times x plus a. 2x minus a times x plus a. So that is what you now write in the denominator. So that means when you factorize this numerator, you have ax minus 2x and a plus 3x. When you factorize the denominator, you are having 2x minus a times x plus a. Now you now try to look at which of them can it looks similar. You realize that here you are having a minus 2x. Here you are having 2x minus a. Let's try to make this numerator look similar to what is in the denominator. Now if you look at it, now if I'm having a minus 2x, my a minus 2x can still be written like this. If I say minus is common to them, so a plus a divided by minus will give us what? Minus a. Then minus 2x divided by minus will give us what? Plus 2a. Actually, if you open the bracket, minus times minus will give us plus back. Minus times this plus will give us minus 2x. So that means if you bring out the minus, you can have it as minus a plus 2x. Now what is in this bracket, you can rearrange it so that plus will be in front. The same thing as saying 2x minus a. So that means a minus 2x can be written as minus x minus bracket into bracket 2x minus a. So that is what is done here. So for this one, so that the numerator and the denominator will look alike, is the reason why I rearrange this one to give me minus into bracket 2x minus a. This a plus 3x is still there over, then the factors here are still there. So now from here, 2x minus a and 2x minus a look similar, so they can easily cancel out. So that means you are now left with what? Minus a plus 3x over x plus a. So in a nutshell, so when you are told to solve something like this, first of all, factorize the numerator, you will get a minus 2x times a plus 3x. Factorize the denominator, you get 2x minus a and x plus a. Then from here, you realize that for this one to look alike like this one, that means you are going to factorize them minus r. So you have minus into bracket 2x minus a and times this over this. So from here, this 2x minus a look similar. They can easily cancel out. You are now left with what? Minus a plus 3x over x plus a. For the number 3, you are given a squared minus 5a plus 6 over 2 minus 3a plus a squared. So let's try to, so that means this is the question you are given. Now I'll try to rearrange the denominator so that it will look more like a quadratic equation. I see I have a square minus 5a plus 6 over, if I made the one that's having square in front, a square minus 3a, this is plus 2 plus 2. So when you factorize the numerator, when you factorize a square minus 5a plus 6, you realize that what a times a will give us a square, minus 3 times minus 2 will give us minus 6. So a times minus 2 will give us minus 2a. A times minus 3 will give us minus 3a. Minus 2a minus 3a is minus 5a. So you can see that it gave us what is in the middle. So that means you are going to write the factors as a times a minus 3 times a minus 2. So that means for the numerator you are having a minus 3 times a minus 2. Also for the denominator you are going to factorize a square minus 3a plus 2 plus 2. So when you factorize a square minus 3a plus 2, what will give us a square? A times a will give us a square plus 2, that is minus 2 times minus 1. Minus times minus is minus, 2 times 1 is 2. So let's check if it gives us what is the middle. A times minus 1 is what? Minus a. A times minus 2 is what? Minus 2a. So minus a minus 2a is minus 3a, since it gives us what's in the middle. So the factors will be what? A minus 2 and a minus 3. So in place of the denominator, you now put a minus 2 times a minus 3. So from here, realize that in the denominator you having a minus 2 here, and here also you having a minus 2. So this one and this one will cancel out. So that means you are now left with a minus 3 over a minus 1. A minus 3 over a minus 1. In a nutshell, so if you are given this, a square minus 5a plus 6 over 2 minus 3a plus a square, you are going to factorize the numerator. When you factorize the numerator, you are having a minus 3 times a minus 2. Also, you factorize the denominator, you are having a minus 2 times a minus 1. So since this and this look similar, so you cancel them out. So you can only cancel when you are having multiplication. This one is multiplying this is multiplying this. So that means you can easily divide each other. So that means you are now left with a minus 3 over a minus 1. A minus 3 over a minus 1. Let's do another example. Simplify a square plus 2a minus 3 over a square minus 16 times a plus 4 over a square plus 8a plus 15. Now, so we are given this. Since we are given this, so what we do is to factorize. We are going to factorize a square plus 2a minus 3. When you factorize a square plus 2a minus 3, you are going to get a plus 3 times a minus 1. I believe you've known how to factorize. Then, when you factorize a square minus 16, you are going to get a minus 4 times a plus 4. Let's check how to factorize a square minus 16. So this is a square minus 16. A times a will give us a square. So this one minus 4 times 4 will give us minus 16. So it means the coefficient of a is 0. So a times 4 here will give us what? 4a. Then a times minus 4 here will give us minus 4a. Minus 4a. 4a minus 4a here is 0. So that means the factors are a minus 4 and a plus 4. So when you factorize, a square minus 16 will give us a minus 4 times a plus 4. So likewise, this is a plus 4 already. You having a plus 4. So when you factorize a square plus 8a plus 15, you are going to have a plus 5 times a plus 3. So from here, you realize that this is this is multiplying this, this multiply this, multiply this. So they are all dividing. So that means here you can, this one a plus 4 will cancel out a plus 4 here. Also a plus 3 here will cancel out a plus 3 here. So that means in the numerator you're having a minus 1, and in the denominator you're having a minus 4 times a plus 5. So that means your final solution will be a minus 1 over a minus 4 times a plus 5. Then for the number 5, you have to simplify this. M square minus a square over m square plus bm plus am plus ab then divided by m square minus 2am plus a square over cm plus bx plus bc. Now we are going to factorize m square minus a square. When you factorize m square minus a square, you are going to get m plus a times m minus a. Also, you factorize m square plus bm. So when you factorize m square plus bm plus am plus ab, look at this one. To factorize it, between these two, you are having m common to them. So then if you bring m out, m square divided by m will give us m plus bm divided by m will give us b. Also between these two, you realize that what a is common to them. So into bracket am divided by a will give us m, then plus ab divided by a will give us b. You realize in the two brackets m plus b is in there, they are the same. So the factors of this will now be m plus a, this m plus this a times m plus b, and just pick one of the one in the bracket, m plus, if you are to open the bracket, you multiply this by the whole of this by the whole. So the factors, if to factorize m square plus bm plus am plus ab will give you m plus a times m plus b. So that is why here you are having m plus a times m plus b divided by, when you factorize m square minus 2am plus a square, it will give you m minus a times m minus a. Then you realize that between cm and bc, c is common to them, so you bring it out. So cm divided by c will give us m plus bc divided by c will give us b. So c into bracket m plus b. So from there you realize that here you can easily simplify them. You realize that m plus a times m minus a over m plus a times m plus b divided by m minus a times m minus a over c into bracket m plus b. You realize this one and this one cancel each other, they are the same, you cancel them. So that means you are left with m minus a over m plus b divided by, so here between these two there, none of it is look similar, so you leave it at that. Now we are now going to turn this division to multiplication. When you turn this division to multiplication, so the one at the back here will turn upside down. So that means this one here will come up and this one will come down. So m minus a divided by m plus b, when you change division to multiplication, this c into bracket m plus b will come up over m minus a times m minus a. Now you realize that here this m minus a and this m minus a will cancel out. What again can divide? This m plus b and this m plus b also will cancel out. So you are now left with what? C over m minus a. You are left with what? C over m minus a. So for the work practice, you are going to do this. Simplify the following. M plus n over n times mn over 3m plus 3n. Number 2, a square minus 4 over a square minus 3a plus 2 divided by a over a minus 1. Number 3, m square minus 9 over m square minus m minus 6 times m square plus 2m over m square. Number 4, a square minus ab minus 6b square over a square plus a square ab minus 6b square times a square minus ab minus 2b square over a square minus 2ab minus 3b square. Number 5, e square minus 5e plus 6 over e square plus 2e minus 3 divided by 3e minus 9 over 2e square plus 6e. Then number 6, u square plus 3u minus 10 over 3u square plus 12u divided by u square minus 25 over u square minus u minus 20. Please ensure you like, subscribe and comment on this channel. Thank you.